This is Biernacki, and today I'm talking about spider veins and varicose veins. These are big, thick, dark purple veins on your legs. I'm going to tell you if they're dangerous, what to do about them at home. Are surgeries worth it? So varicose veins usually happen on your feet, your ankles, the inside of your calf muscles, your knees. These are big, thick, purple veins. They're usually dark. They can be black. They can be thick and tortuous. It looks almost like a worm underneath your skin. For most people, these are not very dangerous, but they're ugly. People don't like them. They want to know what they can do about them. And the good news is this. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about varicose veins, but there's always the disclaimer. And I'm going to really focus on treatments that can be done safely and effectively at home that give you great results. So that's really the key goal of this video. You know, surgery at the same time can be very beneficial, but realistically, if your first goal is to go do surgery, then you probably shouldn't be watching videos like this. You know, go see your doctor and go get surgery done. But I'll talk about the pros and cons of surgery at the same time. And you know what? The thing about surgery is, it's really not always the best option. Surgery should be the last option. I'm going to show you why. Because I have so many patients go get the varicose vein surgery done, and the results are not what they think. Their leg pain doesn't go away, their nerve pain doesn't go away, they're itching, they're burning, their swelling in their legs does not go away. The vein, the varicose vein specifically, is a symptom of this much larger problem, which I'll talk about, and it is not the cause. So for most people, varicose veins are cosmetic problems. These are superficial veins. So specifically, arteries bring blood from the heart to your tissue, which in this case is your foot, and veins bring blood flow back up to your body. So with varicose veins, this can lead to numbness, burning, itching, unsightly, tortuous veins. But can they lead to big problems? Absolutely. They can lead to ulcers. So venous stasis ulcers can be holes on your skin with bleeding. But the really big one is a blood clot. A deep vein thrombosis or a blood clot can develop in your skin. And if you have a hard, red, very painful vein that if you press on is very tight and tender, and it's only on one leg, not the other, go see your podiatrist or your emergency room immediately and get scanned for what's called a venous Doppler. So this venous Doppler will scan your vein and make sure there's not a blood clot, because the risk factors with a blood clot is it can shoot up to your lungs and plug your lungs, causing something called a pulmonary embolism. And this can lead to like a 50% chance of death. So people who are smokers, overweight, have had surgeries, broken bones, there's a high risk of blood clots associated with varicose veins. And this is the real danger of varicose veins. So the causes of varicose veins are, you can have valves. So as your blood flows up, the valves open. But as your heart stops beating, the valves close. So your heart goes bum, it opens and flows up, but in between it closes, so the blood can't flow back. But what happens with the vein is, a varicose vein, is it can break and the blood can flow back. So it's kind of moving up, but it's kind of moving back down. Then it just kind of bulges out and swells. So in between heartbeats, the blood kind of recoils a little bit and the valves are supposed to close and not let it back. Once that vein gets broken, it's hard for it to kind of come back. But realistically, the good news is, you have thousands and thousands of veins throughout your body, but only a few arteries. So for example, going down the foot and the ankle, there's only a few major arteries. If those get plugged, that's when gangrene happens. But your veins coming up to your heart, some of them can get plugged and break down over time, and it's really not the biggest deal unless there's a blood clot that can shoot up to your heart. That's a different story. But the main thing is, arteries bring blood flow down, so a stronger heart and less body weight bring better flow, and not smoking, whereas veins bring it up. Exercising more, not sitting, doing all these good healthy things are what make your veins work better. So the risk factors are, if you're sitting on your butt all day, if you're eating junk food, if you're eating sugar all day, if you have diabetes, if the more weight you put on, it's an exponential amount of work for your heart. So your heart has less force through each individual vein because you have so much more body mass volume that your heart has to push. And it gets exponentially harder the more weight you put on for your heart. So obesity is one of the biggest things. But that's great news, because losing weight is something most people can do, and that means your veins will get better. Standing or sitting for long periods of time. So sitting for long periods of time can really lead to blood flow problems, because the biggest thing that pushes blood flow through your veins besides your heart is your muscles. So with the valves, every time you stand on your leg, the muscles squeeze and they push the blood flow forward, and it can't recoil back. So realistically, simply walking will flush all the blood flow out of your legs. So things that help in this regard are compression socks and massage cuffs as well. So when I sit at a computer all day, maybe I don't get up every hour, but I have massage cuffs pushing blood flow up my calf. There's different types of compression socks. So there's the knee-high ones that are over the counter. There's knee-high ones prescribed by a podiatrist. So they can be 20 millimeters of mercury, 30 millimeters of mercury, or 40 millimeters of mercury or more. These ones that you buy over the counter are more like 10 millimeters to 15 millimeters of mercury. The doctor stuff is hard to get, and it's so tight and so uncomfortable that you can barely move, and it might not necessarily be good for you unless your doctor specifically recommended it. Prevention is get healthy. Eat vegetables, don't eat bad foods, wear good, reasonable shoes. And I'm going to talk about specifics soon, but don't wear things like high heels, flats. Avoid walking barefoot around the house. That's a very big one. Exercising, weight loss, not smoking can really help out. Control your salt, your diet. If you have diabetes, if you have congestive heart failure, if you have health issues like lymphedema, we have a lot of great videos about this, but go see your primary care doctor as well as not just your podiatrist, and go get these things checked out. So for a true diagnosis, listen, I already mentioned ulcers, bleeding, and blood clots as a big issue. We have a great video about blood clots. Please watch it if you think you might have one. You don't need surgery vast majority of the time. Nobody needs surgery the vast majority of the time. Yes, are there times people need surgery? Yes. But will this get better without surgery? Almost 100% of the time, it will get better by doing the things I talk about. But first, let's talk about surgery. The thing about surgery is there are a few different surgeries. So there's radiofrequency surgery, there's sclerotherapy, there's laser treatments that don't actually involve an incision, there's going in and basically cauterizing the inside of the veins, because hey, listen, the valves are broken. You can basically destroy the vein and get it to collapse in on itself. Your deeper veins will still control the blood flow, so it's not a big deal. But this is really what these surgeries do. They just make the veins collapse and get plugged and seal up. Why are these veins so engorged? You can kill off the veins and get them to shut down, but then other ones throughout your life will basically engorge and shut down. So the real key is to really get to the root of this. So the number one most effective thing that I see is great shoes and great slippers. Listen, they don't have to be ugly shoes. Some people consider this an ugly, but this is called a maximalist shoe. Basically, it's a lot of cushion and a lot of support. So what makes a good shoe is a stiff back. See how I can't really push it down and it doesn't really bend? Try that with your shoe at home and see how I can't bend the bottom. See how I can't really bend the front. This is both cushioned, supportive, and stiff. There are shoes where I can basically grab them and twist them all over the place and they give you no support. So an example of this are like ballet shoes, flats, flip-flops, slippers, stuff that has no support. Especially during COVID, most people walk around barefoot all day and their feet basically flatten out. So when I say that is, watch what happens to this foot model. It just collapses. And when it collapses, it stretches all the muscles on the inside of your ankle and everything on the outside of your ankle. That means your knees buckle in and your feet twist out. That happens to everybody. So your knees buckle in and your feet buckle out. Look at this. I link some slippers in my favorite shoe guide. Check down in the show notes. But simply a slipper with an insole like this. So see, I even put some padding. It's an insole that goes in the slipper. If you're in winter time, you can get a slipper like this. Check this out on the other hand. Flip-flops. So I have flip-flops. These are called the Hoka slides. Look at how thick and cushioned they are. So these can be just as, probably more supportive than most people's shoes. Now the next thing is orthotics. So check what happens to my foot. Shoes can help it from buckling out, but I know this seems like it's a model and it's not your real foot, but look at, as I push down, see how it's not flattening out? But if I give it a flat ground, see how it flattens out? And just in case you think it's my hand, check this out. Look at how much it's flattening out right there. It's buckling out to the side, whereas check out this orthotic. It's stopping it from buckling out, even though it's a little unstable. So that's how effective orthotics are. So getting a good shoe and a good orthotic, again, I'd link some basic low-cost ones. You don't have to go get anything expensive. Start with something low-cost and efficient. Can be extremely helpful. Hey, guess what? We have a phenomenal book. I believe this is the premier book on chronic nerve pain and peripheral neuropathy pain on the planet. I've put years of work seeing tens of thousands of peripheral neuropathy patients, working with some of the best diabetic endocrinologists, the best doctors, the best neurologists, in building out this book. For you, my viewers, we have a discount code available. Get on our mailing list and get that book down here.